guys, welcome back to Ninjago News TV. By the time this video has been released, I will be on vacation, so my video schedule will be different. I'm done with daily uploading, as the episodes have pretty much stopped airing, and I'm going back to one video per day. But since I am on vacation, I'll be pacing out my videos, obviously something like one video per every 2 to 3 days, and of course this video is pre-recorded. So yeah, this is my Let's Look Back special, a more formal review of Season 9, where I list pros and cons, and additionally talk about theories that were proven or disproven. And yeah, I already did a review on Hunted, a very informal review, a couple days ago, but today I'm doing a really formal review for Hunted. So let's talk about theories. What was proven? What was disproven? What popular theories? What was the verdict on those popular theories? Garmadon's fate was something that kind of carried over from Season 8. When Season 8 aired, a lot of people were questioning what would happen to Garmadon if he turned good or die or whatever, and that theory kind of carried over into Season 9. I don't know if I'm speaking for myself or the community here, but I think a lot of people were kind of expecting him to either die or turn good, and surprisingly, neither of those happened. Instead, he's still a bad guy, and he goes to Cryptarium. But yeah, I think this is definitely because he's going to return in Season 10, but I already did a video on that. Just like Garmadon, Harumi's fate was also another theory that carried over into Season 9. Once again, a lot of people were kind of expecting Harumi to turn good at the end of Season 8, and we know that she didn't, and she remained a villain in Season 9. In actuality, she died in Season 9 from the building collapsing, so she was killed off pretty quickly, wasn't kept alive as a bad guy like the way Garmadon or any of the other Sons of Garmadon members were, and the season kind of appears to be concluding her story arc, and they did so really beautifully, I think. Hutchin's fate was kind of a minor theory, I guess. I didn't hear people talking about this as much. It's just something that I did see some LEGO Ninjago YouTubers, such as me, doing videos on, like Tanner Fishies and other YouTubers. But Hutchin still remains dead as of now. He only appeared in 2 episodes, and yeah, he was killed off right after his debut episode, which led many fans to believe that he'd reappear sometime soon. When he didn't reappear in Season 8, some of the talk died down about this, but there were still people who thought that he could return in Season 9. However, he did not appear in Season 9. I've heard some theories that he might be an Oni in Season 10, which I don't seem to find likely, but, I mean, then again, anything can happen in Ninjago, but as of now, he's still dead. The subject of Lloyd's powers was something that was talked about a lot in the months leading up to Season 9, and the main question was if his powers would return or not. In episode 94, when Garmadon loses his powers, Lloyd's powers do return in some kind of true potential-ish kind of stage, so we do know that his powers return. However, there was a lot of talk because this was one of the biggest plot points left open at the end of Season 9, and of course, the end of Season 8, and of course, Season 9's arc with Lloyd was about him kind of getting his power back, and there were definitely a lot of strong themes about power, and of course, him losing his power definitely helped to convey those themes. I think a lot of people were questioning what would happen to the Dragon Keepers after we did see that one image of Kai and Heavy Metal hunting down the dragon together. That definitely sparked a lot of discussion about what would happen to the Dragon Keepers, and it turns out they do turn good. We do know that Iron Baron dies, and Heavy Metal is the first person to turn good. Eventually, all of them do turn. This is like, the second faction to turn good, the first being the Serpentine. It's different here considering that they turned good immediately after their debut season. But yeah, the Dragon Keepers pretty much have turned good, and a lot of people were questioning whether they would or not, but of course, Iron Baron is the only one who's dead, but all the Dragon Keepers are good and remain as allies now. So now we looked back, we talked about some of the theories that were trending before Season 9 aired, of course, we reflected on those. Now I'm going to talk about what I specifically liked about the season and what I didn't like, and as of course, this will be in a lot of detail as opposed to the video I did a few days ago, which wasn't in detail and was pretty much off-scripted. So yeah, this will have a lot more detail. Emperor Garmadon and Iron Baron were the 2 main antagonists of Season 9, and I really loved them. First, I'm going to talk about Lord Garmadon. In my last Let's Look Back special at the end of Season 8, I actually had Lord Garmadon as one of my cons. I really didn't like him, and based off of those only 2 episodes where we saw him in Season 8, I would say he's a bad character. However, that all changed at episode 86. We saw him pretty much dismantle Mr. E, and he took on a darker personality after that, and he really embraced his evil side. he became amazing, honestly. He's an amazing character now, and that came to its climax when he battled Lloyd in Borg Tower in episode 94. And now for Iron Baron. Iron Baron is also an amazing villain. He's not really new when we talk about personality, but rather he's a mix of old villains. More specifically, I find him to be a mix of Narukon and Chen. He's kind of like Narukon because he controls his entire army, and his army kind of rebelled against him a bit. His army's good, but he's not, obviously. He's like Chen because he used deception and lies as a weapon, and fear as well. And he's an amazing character who actually Wu was able to deceive him and use his own power against him. And his fate I also liked. He pretty much got what he deserved. I think in this season and Season 8 also, the soundtracks have really taken a big step up from where they were before. Before, they were actually really good. They were amazing, but now they're even more amazing. The Dragon theme is one of my favorite themes of Season 9. There's so many different renditions, and the instruments used are amazing, honestly. They have vocals in one, in the Taming the Dragons theme, and then, of course, low violins in the First Word theme. That is an amazing theme. Iron Baron's theme is also really cool as well. If you didn't know, that's pretty much the theme that plays during the Wind Dragon chase. It also plays when Iron Baron is getting the dragon armor, but I really love that theme. Resistance theme is cool, not my favorite in the season, but also very cool, very heroic, and Dragon Keeper theme is simple, but also cool. Most importantly, I love the Sons of Garmadon theme. They have a normal action-packed theme, and there's also a more kind of ominous rendition of it, but overall, amazing soundtracks in this season. This was one of my pros from my last Let's Look Back special in Season 8, of course, a darker tone. If you thought Season 8 had a darker tone, come on, just watch Season 9. Season 9 pretty much boasts the highest kill count for actual characters. Of course, we know that all those ghosts died when the Preeminent was drowned, but this season kills off the most developed characters. It starts when Mr. E is pretty much killed in episode 86, which I think is pretty much the darkest scene in all of Ninjago. He basically got dismantled right before the viewer's eyes. Then, in addition, we see that the Ultra Dragon has pretty much been turned into skulls, which is pretty dark also. And Mistake is executed by Garmadon, supposedly. Harumi also dies. Her death isn't really dark, let's say. But Iron Baron's, punishment, that's pretty dark, honestly. The First Word Dragon just breathing fire on him and imprisoning him for life, that's honestly really dark. I think the amount of deaths in this season has really helped to build that darker tone. I'm older now, and I can officially say that this isn't really just a kids show anymore. And I like that. While there was so much about the season I really loved, there were also things that I wasn't as fond of. Let's talk about those next. There were a few elemental power errors, and by a few, I'm mostly looking at episode 94. Basically, Garmadon loses his powers, but how exactly does he lose his powers? Apparently, it was the fight that fueled his powers, but that makes no sense if you think about it. The only time he fights in Season 9 was actually, before, of course, fighting Lloyd, was actually fighting Mistake, and he wasn't fighting for any of the rest of the season. So how did he maintain his powers? That really made no sense to me. Also, it just became kind of obvious that Lloyd and Garmadon's powers are linked. Maybe, I'm not sure, but I don't think it's a coincidence that Lloyd got his powers back at the same time that Garmadon lost his powers. Yeah, there's also a few errors with how the Oni are scared of Garmadon's powers. Well, why didn't they come and attack earlier, when Garmadon was dead? There are a few theories to counter that one, but even anyways, I feel like there's a lot of confusion concerning Garmadon's powers and how he lost them in that last episode. The next con for me is the middle of the season. And this was kind of disappointing, considering in Season 8, my favorite episode is episode 81, which is pretty much the middle of the season. I didn't really feel like the middle of the season was pretty good in Hunted. I don't know if this was due to the fact that there were two plots to balance, or if it was just the way that the episodes were written, but I really didn't like episode 90 and episode 91. Mostly episode 91. I mean, if I was given a choice to rewatch it compared to another episode in the beginning, I probably would, just because there was more going on, there were new characters. But that being said, the plot of these two episodes were not good. In episode 90, in the first round, you had a bike chase, which was pretty good, but then you went to the Oni Land. That was also cool, I guess. Episode 90 is my main concern, to be honest. But then episode 91 came, which pretty much was the same thing as episode 90 for the first round plot. Just the same bike chase, except in a different location. Then the chain montage was cool, but of course, just killing time. And in Ninjago, nothing much happened in episode 91. They were also just killing time for whatever reason, I don't know why, but I feel like the middle of the season was just mediocre. So that's going to wrap up this video. Let me know what you thought of this idea. Let's look back in the comments. Did you like it? What didn't you like? Is there anything I should improve on? Add on to the next Let's Look Back special? Just let me know all that stuff. I really want to hear it. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, share with anyone ever you know. I will see you next time.